Okie dokie, let's get started. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to our Business Maximizers session. This is a recorded session, so if you have any concerns about it being recorded, we will be sharing it with those that have registered but can't make it. Today's session, we are going to go through and do a bit of a demo of Investar, which is a great software for anyone that's in the property investment space. So anyone that's a buyer's agent, property investment specialist, even if you're doing or mortgage, mortgage broking as well, accounting potentially, where you have clients that are looking to grow their portfolios, but don't really have good visibility of what their portfolios are doing in terms of the growth or when they can purchase again, or where that's ultimately really taking the right steps to grow to reaching their financial goals. This is what Investar does, and I've invited Amal and Amar to do a bit of a demo and answer any questions. But before we kick off, I'd love if you can pop it in the chat on the right. Just sort of what business you're in. Are you a buyer's agent? Are you a property developer? Are you a property investment specialist? It'll be good to understand what brings you here today and what the interest is, and what you'd really like to see. Do we have any buyer's agents here? I know we have a lot of buyer's agents that may be using spreadsheets. I said buyer's agents are property investment specialists, and because we work with a lot of them, we've got a buyer's agent here. Awesome. And do you deal with a lot of investors? KJ? Yes, most of them. What are you using now, KJ, for in terms of your sort of property strategy with them? Are you using any tools?
Not really, to be honest, Sherry. Sorry, my voice is crooked a little bit. Nothing really. Most of them are first-time investors, so they don't have any multiple properties at the moment. But coming up next, they might have multiple properties. So
yeah,
thinking of something. Yeah, what tools are out there and just exploring them out.
Yeah, that would be great as well. Excellent. Thank you for sharing. Alex, thank you for joining us. So you're a property developer looking for resources to identify good deals. So Alex, with Investar, it's more going to be around having a dashboard of your property portfolio. So whether it's mainly sort of buy and hold types, but if it's your own, like I said, we were going to be using it for our own personal portfolios, which again, we've looked at other software before, and it just didn't have the functionality that Investar has. So it'll be good to get your input at the end to see if there's any functionality there that's going to be of value to you. Fatima, you're a business broker and work as a residential agent looking to get into buyer's agent. Yeah, excellent. As you may know, there's quite a bit of competition in the buyer's agent space, and where I've seen, and we work with a lot of buyer's agents, where a lot of our clients are buyer's agents, where we really see the ones that stand out is through one, that client experience where the client feels that they are guided, and the client feels that the buyer's agent is their sort of their advisor on what's next and when. And it's not just a singular transaction. It's that the buyer's agent is genuinely cares about how they can help the client get to their financial goals. And this is where Amal and Amir will take us through a bit of a journey of how our Investar does that. Awesome. So I'm not going to take the thunder away. Amal and Amir, I'll let you introduce yourselves, and then it's really over to you.
Sounds good. Thank you, Cheryl, for the introduction. I'll start with myself. So I'm here with the technology background. I've worked with many large-scale companies and projects. Some of the household names in Australia that you've heard of probably: Seek, West Farmers, Officeworks, Local Agent Finder, recently in the prop tech space as well. Been working on many, many large-scale real estate development projects. So we worked on this platform for last couple of months, almost a year now. And we really wanted to add value to buyers agents and investors alike. And with the same motivation coming from investment background myself, so we have partnered together. So I'll hand over to Amol for his quick intro.
Yes, it's Amolya, and I've been in investment space from almost 12 to 13 years now. Personally, have a portfolio of 10 properties. So I'm a mortgage broker, and I run a company called Ars Financials. So I find that a lot of people struggle to grow their portfolio. They're dealing with multiple spreadsheets. I speak with a lot of buyers agents, and that's where the idea of Investar was planted. And so me and Amar, we have the industry experience of almost more than 12, 15 years. And so we decided that we want to get a tool in the market which will be very efficient, easy to use, but a good value add for the buyers agents.
And just on that, Amol, when you said you want to find a tool, I'm assuming that you probably have played around with different tools, or you've been putting it on. And what were the key challenges that you saw to begin with, and what was then the solution that you were looking to address?
Yep. So if you want, I can quickly share my screen. And so I'll show you, we actually have addressed the key challenges that we faced and how Investar is solving that. So see, other tools basically require manual data input, making the process prone to error, delays in acquiring all the actionable insights. Whereas with the Investar tool, it's a real-time data insights that empower you to take the informed decisions basically instantly. Other tools, they rely on 24 to 40 different assumptions, whereas our tool is not assumption based. It's a real-time data, and the input required is hardly minimum. So again, other tools, there are no property ratings available, leaving users without any essential evaluation of the data. Whereas Investar, we are delivering a comprehensive property rating about how each property is doing in the market, tailored to each of the properties. Currently, see, in the market, there is no data available to track or evaluate the wealth contribution of individual properties, how every property is contributing to your wealth journey, whereas the Investar does that. Also, in the market, it offers the high-level assumptions. It's assumptions-based strategies, whereas with Investar, we have developed a very customized strategy specific to that particular scenario or the client scenario, very a personal-level approach to every client's needs. Now, other tools, it takes ages to fill and everything is manual. Our tool hardly takes 2 to 3 minutes to fill up the information, and all the data has been populated. So the last one is predominantly there's no centralized client management, making it difficult to monitor the client progress. This is mainly for the buyers agents. So we have created the buyers agent dashboard where you'll be able to track all the clients, how their portfolio is doing. And actually, we'd like to show you instead of talking about it. So Amar, let's quickly jump on into the portal and show some cool.
Sure. Can you guys see the screen?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So this is basically where we start the journey. It doesn't have to be, we can definitely white label and connect with some of the existing portals that the buyers agents or the other companies that are attending this session have. So reach out to us. We can definitely connect this portal with your tool belt as well. So it is very much becomes part of your offering. Now, when we start here, we'll start with a login. And from the get-go, security is baked into the platform. We take data privacy and security very carefully. So you could already see we are working on industry standard two-factor authentication, one-time passwords, which will be sent to your personalized device that you choose. And from there, we'll just use the one-time code. And here you're seeing my dashboard pop up, but it didn't take me a long time to create all of this. It is hardly a matter of 5 to 10 minutes, and I'll quickly show you. So you start with your journey essentially by filling in all your details. You click on the goals, and from the goals, you add in your passive income goal. Sure. Yes, please do keep popping up your questions in the chat. So you start with the passive income goal. How much equity would you need? The number of properties that you want to buy, your target rental yield, at what age that you want to retire as well. So all of that. And then, are you a first-time property investor? Do you want to rent west? And do you need asset protection? So moving on from there, as we keep moving along, we just add information about your family, some of the dependents, just age. On to the next one, which is your income details, monthly net income. If you're self-employed, then what's your self-employed income, any additional income sources that you might have. Then we come on to a very interesting part, which is adding your portfolio details. And I can see I've already added my own personal portfolio. But the best thing about is, if you're unsure, just add in your address. For example, I'll add and then automatically the address resolves and we get the real-time market valuation. This is baked into the platform. You don't have to assume where your property is standing right now. This data is real-time based on where the market is trending. So you don't have to guesstimate, estimate anything. You don't have to use spreadsheets, to use old stale data and have to constantly come back to it. So the valuations come from our industry sources. It is very much the teams behind the people that have built the foundational pieces of likes of Pricefinder, CoreLogic, Domain. So essentially, we are partnered with them, and they're giving it. Yes, we can definitely manually add the valuation as well if required. Right? If you disagree, you can definitely do that. Initial purchase price, you add some exact details, weekly rent, current loan amount. And we will touch current loan amount a bit later as well, because another interesting feature of the platform is that you don't have to guess going forward. So once I've added that, I'll just move on. And then we want to adding some expenses. Once you've added all of that, hit save. And you are redirected to your individual platform. The platform is up and running within a matter of few minutes. We start with giving you the information about your portfolio growth per property. That you can also have a view of your current portfolio yields, again, per property, that you can see how they're performing, your portfolio borrowable equity from each property, your portfolio debt to equity ratio as a whole. And then what we give you is an overall score of how you are performing as an investor. This is very important, and this is very easy for first-time new starting investors, because this, without having a lot of in-depth knowledge, it gives you a quick health check. It's like a thermometer reading, right? Are you trending in the right direction? So Cheryl, portfolio borrowable equity is calculated upon the current the value of the property plus how much of the in terms of certain formula that we apply in terms of calculating the borrowing equity. Amal, do you want to pitch into this one?
Yeah, sure. The equity is calculated based on your outstanding loan versus what your equity is available. So the property price, 80% what the loan is, and then you have the borrowable equity.
Cool.
Yep. So we'll go through all the questions.
All the questions in the end. Yeah, let's do all the questions in the end. So I was speaking about the Investar score. So for a new investor, it's a very early good sign of how they're trending, right? And it's also a conversation point for you as well. If they're scored less on our platform, what can a buyer's agent do to support them? Is it something of a rebalancing exercise? Is it something assessing their individual properties? What do they need to do next? Otherwise, what we don't want is people to invest for a while holding on to those properties that might not be adding value. So we immediately, based on the data that we get from the market, keep updating this score in the background so that you'll always know how you're trending. So moving on from that one, we also give you a breakup of how each property is contributing to your portfolio wealth. And then this is the next big value add that we're doing is we are ranking each and every property based on the data that we ingest on that property, some of the data that you provided us from the market, combine them together, run it through our bespoke algorithm, and give you a high overview of how that property is performing. Is it average? Is it low performing? Is it high growth potential? Is it even risky? Every property will be ranked by us on its own custom rating, and it will give you again an idea of whether that property fits in your long-term goal, right? So that you can always have a real-time view of how individual property is contributing to your growth journey as well. So if I click on one of those properties, it takes me to the portfolio page. And from there, I'm directly into the portfolio details page. All of this data we are bringing from the market. You don't have to put anything. You don't have to assume anything. There is less chances of you making a mistake by putting anything. So everything from purchase price to current market price, the growth since purchase, the loan amount, loan to value ratio, borrowable equity, again at 80% LVR, everything we're bringing in. As you can also see, I've added some of the details of my current property manager, the real estate agent that I bought it from, and the solicitors I worked with. But then we've got also more. What we have done is we have got ACCC license, which means we are licensed by the Australian government that we can directly work with 115 banks across Australia and New Zealand and pull in the real-time financial data for each individual across all of these banks. And all of this data is not stored anywhere, is individually mapped back into an individual's profile. And this is how you'll see that data in real time. So coming back to it, what you all have to do is select an account which maps to this particular property. And then you have one clear picture of how the property is performing, what the stats are from market data point of view, where is my loan tied to that property is performing. So there is nothing in the market that gives you one single view of every individual property, of how it is performing, my financial data, the overall portfolio. It's a very granular step-by-step level for you to analyze and get value from your investments. You are going into their investment journey well informed. Otherwise, most people rely on 6-month-old, a year-old, a conversation with someone who might have an idea, relying on people to generate reports on them. No, we don't have to rely on such type. We can directly get a lot of value from just accessing your portal. Then coming back to it, we also already have the capability of creating a quick screenshot-based report on your current dashboard. But we are working on building bespoke reports as well, as you've seen with the likes of other established players in the market over a period of time. Now, another one, especially for new investors, is we give a high-level guidance and a little bit of a coaching and knowledge on how they could be going about their investment strategy. So based on the data that you have provided us, we can tell you what structure you could probably go with. Do you go with investment or interest only, principal plus interest? What ownership structure should look like? Should you buy under a trust or a personal loan structure? Should you buy, what should be your funding strategy? I'll come to I'll answer all the questions in the end. Thank you. Loan to value ratio that should be going for. Recommendations from our end. What should be our growth year on year? The purchase price, the rental yield. And then again, the financial data. I think this question was asked. So this is part of Australian government's open banking platform, which is a government and industry standard through which we have got the license from the government to essentially be a party in fetching data on your behalf. So only when a user adds their account, selects a bank, gives their consent to pull data, then only we are able to pull that data into our platform so that it gives you. So we have gone through a rigorous security check. It took us a couple of months to get all of that verified from the government. And when they're happy with how we are using the data, how we are displaying it, how we are storing it, then they give us the license. Then, Amol, would you want to start with one of the most interesting?
Sure. So there are three factors to it. The first main dashboard was about your existing portfolio and the strategy about how to go about it. Second one is the InvestNet. So InvestNet is about, okay, we want to achieve that financial freedom for the client. So we are strategizing on how we can achieve, how many property that client needs to purchase, what's the rental yield we need to target, that kind of information. So what we do here is the portal automatically maps your existing portfolio all we do is enter the deposit that we have. Now, on the first page, you are able to see the, okay, my property 1 has borrowable equity of 124,000, property 2 has borrowable equity of 80,000. So we are going with a purchase of my investment property number 5 and sorry, property number 6. I'm going to say that, okay, I'm going to access the equity from property number 1, say for $90,000. So Amar, in the first property, under the equity amount, just put 90,000.
Sure.
Yeah, under the equity amount.
Oh, sorry.
Yep, and to add another property. Yep, we can name it IP number 7. Say purchase price of 500,000. Purchase year 2024. And equity, we have accessed it from property 1. So put 90,000. Deposit, sorry. Put it under deposit, Amar.
Sorry, 100,000?
90,000.
90,000.
Yep, that's what we have accessed from property number 1. Yep, so then we go and say, okay, we're going to purchase property number 8.
Oh.
And we're going to access, say, 90,000 or 80,000 from property number 2. So here, IP number 8, put. So every property that we are planning to purchase, so for the first 2 or 3 properties, potentially, the client may have to put funds from the pocket, but after that, it's all about the equity game. So the portal will show you how much equity each property has and how we can access that equity and fund your next purchase. Okay. Of course, the structuring is also important, which the property strategist will discuss with the client. Yep, click on next. Now, initially we had said that, okay, in the roadmap, we had entered, I want a passive income of 120,000. So it auto-populates over here. Now, depending on your tax rate. So if we have to say sell my first 3 properties and yeah. So when Amar, can you just hover the number? So on the right hand side, you said you can see that it says goal not achieved. So as you hover with the model here, it'll show us which year potentially we will be able to achieve that passive income of 120,000. So yep. So by
2032.
By 2032, it says the goal achieved. So basically, the whole portfolio, it's debt free. So by selling the first 3 properties, you are able to clear the loans from your rest of the properties. And whatever the rental income you're able to generate from those 4 properties, it's a passive income for you. Okay. Now, here, every property potentially may have the different growth rate. So right now, we have given the industry average, which is 7% per annum. And then we have the net yield of 4%. Again, that is adjustable, so you can change that figures. So for example, if property number 1 has had a growth of say 9% or just 5%, you can amend that and it'll be updated and reflected. So scroll down, Amma.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to see here how every property is performing. But if you go to the next page, it shows you a detailed analysis of what your initial asset value was. So when you purchased all this asset, it was, do you want to maximize your screen? Yeah. So initial asset value or the property portfolio was around 4 million. In 2032, your property value will be around 12 million based on 7% yield growth. Then your projected asset value after loan free. So once you pay off all the debts, the loan-free value will be around 8 million. The passive income that's been going to generate is going to be around that mark. Outstanding loans were around 3 million. And once you sell off the assets, it was generating 2 million in cash. So it gives you the breakdown of each property as well, how it is contributing towards your overall wealth journey. So yeah, and again, this is downloadable report. So you can basically download it. So that's all about the InvestNet. And it shows you for every property all the analysis. Okay, then we go to portfolio and it gives you more detailed view of all the portfolio that you're holding in your existing portfolio. Okay, then you go to cash flow. Cash flow is about the immediate property that you're planning to purchase. So all you do is punch in the address of the property. Yeah. It shows you what the market value is, state, and then you just enter what the proposed rent is going to be, say around here. Yep, you enter the LVR. Okay. And it'll show you that there's an LMI. Yep, select the LMI. Yep, it'll tell you and put the interest rate of 7% maybe. See, loan term 30 years. So it tells you what your acquisition cost is. Again, in the miscellaneous cost, basically it's a buyer's agent's cost, which is all these fields are editable, but it gets auto-populated as well. What your holding cost is. So every state has a different property management and letting fees and maintenance costs. Again, all these fields are editable, but when you scroll up, Amar, the capital growth, inflation rate, rental growth, vacancy period, everything is adjustable. So as you can hover this based on the property that you're planning to purchase, and based on P&I or interest only, it gives you the cash flow analysis. It tells you about the property equity, what it's going to generate for the next 30 years. So based on interest only or on P&I, how your cash flow looks like for that particular property, you're able to see it. Again, we are able to download this as a report. So you can make changes and it gets updated straight away. So there's a lot of different spreadsheets in the market. So this is more cleaner version and you don't have to, play with the spreadsheets. It's more cleaner and better. Then the last one is about the advisors. So you can add all your advisors and it gets stored. We are also working on a functionality where end-to-end client journey will be mapped. That will be probably in the phase 2. So where a client signs the contract of sale till the time of settlement, all the parties who are involved will be able to see that journey. So yeah, it'll be a very cool feature that we'll be working on. But the important one, which are right now we are working on, is the reporting factor. So right now, the one which we are seeing is the client side portal. So we also have buyer's agent side portal. Now, as Amar said, this will be white labeled. So it'll have your branding and your details. So you can have a link embedded on your website about the client portal. When they log in, they'll be able to go directly into the portal. And when they log out, it'll be going back to your landing page. So this becomes more like your portal rather than Investar portal. So Amar, do you want to log out and maybe show the dashboard? But before that, what we'll do is we'll just go through all the questions which Cheryl and Alex has entered.
Let's do that.
All right, Amar, where does the valuation come from?
As I mentioned, the valuations come from the industry experts that have helped build Pricefinder, CoreLogic, Domain. So we are partnered with them in terms of building this bespoke API that is only for Investar. But the data is very, very much aligned to what you see in the market.
Yeah. What's the purpose of this fact find? So the purpose of the fact find is to understand what the client wants. And whatever information you feed in, as you know, on the roadmap, you said, oh, I want a passive income of 120,000. That's where that data will be used, as well as the investor strategy. So basically, it's driven by what the information you put in the fact find. Now, can the valuation be manually added? Absolutely. So if you feel that the market is really hot and you're paying over the market value, absolutely, you can manually edit and change that valuation amount.
Yes, okay. Investnet and cash flow, you can do all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you talk through the borrowable equity, please, how that is obtained? So as I said, if the current market value is showing as 500,000, your current loan is 360, and at 80%, it's 400,000. So you have an equity of 40,000, and that's what you're able to see it on the portal. So it's 80% of the property value and less your loan. Okay, now how the buyer's agents or the investment specialist can use this. So this will act as a lead generation for all the buyer's agent. The moment, so we're going to jump into the buyer's agent portal, where you will be able to see that the moment client has a borrowable equity across the portfolio of 70,000 or more, you'll get a pop-up saying that this particular client has equity of this. So it's a discussion for a buyer's agent to have with the client saying that you have enough equity, should we go for the next property? Also under the portfolio analysis, if a client has a property which is risky investment, it's a conversation for a buyer's agent to basically get rid of that property and purchase a new property which aligns with the property goals.
And we'll walk you through in detail on the buyer's agent side as well. Pretty much what you're seeing as an investor view, you see absolutely the same data in the buyer's agent view for all your clients. So you're always aware of how each of your clients is performing in real time. So you'll always have a chance to either be proactively jumping upon, or we are building tools that will make your life easier in just connecting with the investors who are very much poised to move to the next step of another investment.
And the last question was, can you explain the bank links and the data that it brings into the investor? I think Amar has already covered this point. So we've got the ACCC license from the open banking. Cool, Amar, let's jump into the buyer's agent's dashboard.
Sure. Okay.
Kshitish will come to the pricing shortly.
So then again, we have landed in the same place because what we have done is internally handled how each account is navigated. So I'll just log into a different account.
So all the buyer's agents will be given their own login ID and password, and you'll be able to generate your 2FA.
So this is the buyer's agent dashboard. And you can see we have added just a few of our own accounts as well. But essentially, if you're coming in with, you have 5, 10, 20, 100 investors, you'll see a list of investors when you log in terms of decreasing value of their borrowable equity, which means the investor who has the maximum borrowable equity will pop up first on the list, so that immediately as you log in, you know who to immediately talk to if you want to get the next conversation started. Hey, you have enough borrowable equity. What are you planning next, right? I can suggest few properties, so that's immediately a deal opener for you. But then again, if you would want to have several other investors and you would immediately want to jump to a profile, you can also do a search as well. And if I do a search, I immediately land on your view of how your customer's dashboard is. So you are watching this from your own individual login for one particular investor. This is the setup right now. And you're seeing, again, the same stuff that I was seeing on my individual login and my data, you can see all on just one single page as well. There's borrowable equity. As Amol mentioned, if it is definitely above the range where they could buy another property, we would definitely highlight it for you. We'll also build a functionality where you can just click on this and an email will be sent to that investor saying, hey, I'm KJ. I've identified a property for you. You have enough borrowable equity. Let's chat. So we will format and build that for you. And then again, individual property growth, borrowable equity, individual property rating, everything as the investor is seeing on their end, you are seeing exactly the same data and the view on your end as well. So you're always in sync. You don't have to guess. You don't have to generate reports. You don't have to manually run spreadsheets. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is just log in and see where things are. We have made the investor side so valuable for the investor so that they're naturally inclined to come in, have a view of their properties, keep updating if something changes, and that way you'll always have a view. Yes, that is essentially Cheryl. So on your question of yes, so immediately when I clicked on this button, that email was sent to that particular investor from our platform directly, pulling in all the details that we have for you and just creating a bespoke message for them. That's it. You don't have to do anything again. Just click this button. Yes, it is live, very much live.
I should be. I'll unmute myself because I have a few questions. Do you have an example of what that looks like, that email? And,
Yeah.
and can that email be customized as well?
Yes, I do. Let me share my screen.
This is really, really a very helpful tool when you're doing portfolio reviews. So one of the things that we talk through with a lot of our buyer's agent or property investment clients, because we work on their processes, is after whether it's 6 months or 12 months, you want to re-engage the client again and do a portfolio review. And so this previously for a lot of our clients, what they would do if they're doing portfolio reviews, first often they're not. Say you've got a trigger to do a portfolio review, they might have to go into RP data and have a look at the property, look at some comparisons and so on and so forth. But the only visibility they have is of what the property that they've purchased, what the potential value might be. So they know what they've purchased it for and what the value might be. So they might say, oh, well, it's gone up 100,000. However, they don't have visibility over what the actual equity might be, which is different. So you might have 100,000 in increased capital growth, but then there's no visibility as to the equity component. So there's a little bit of to and froing back to the client. So with this, it really helps where you go, well, okay, actually, you've got 300,000 in borrowable equity. So that's the part that we really want to focus on, because then it's the part where, as you can see here, and I'm having a spec savers moment because I can't see what the number is. It's about 500,000. Is that right?
Yes.
My question is then, how much and how many properties can you then purchase, and what can you do with 500,000 worth of equity from there on? So it becomes a less time-consuming process of trying to gather the information. It's effectively presented or consolidated in one spot, which I think that functionality on its own is pretty cool.
Absolutely. So let me quickly show it to you. I'm just adjusting windows. 1 second. Cool. Okay. So let me stop sharing and reshare the window again. So guys can see both the screens together, right? So one is an email client, and there's the other side is the buyer's agent portal. So as soon as I detected, hey, there's a borrowable equity, and I clicked on this email, a new email popped up in my mailbox saying, hey, new investment opportunity. Hey, Omar, your buyer's agent. Then again, these are our own accounts, so the names will be different. Has identified a sufficient borrowable equity. Please contact your buyer's agent. And we can customize the content of this email as well. But all you had to do was click the mail, and the mail popped up.
And where would they be able to amend the content of that email? Say, for example, if someone wanted to add their calendar link to that email.
We definitely can work on adding those features as well. As we just mentioned initially, this is very much the platform on a continued roadmap of features that we would want to add. So as we learn what is valuable, like very good question, Cheryl, someone else comes to us and they would like to add this functionality because that will make their life easier. We are here to partner and essentially solve problems for our customers, which are the buyers agents and investors alike. So definitely we'll work on that roadmap.
Oh, thank you. I mean, that on its own is a cool little function with that email.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what we are seeing today, the platform will be very different in 6 months, in a year, because we are continuously building on top of what you see today. So it's not the end state. It's not something static built for last 3 years and has remained the same. This is something that has seen valuable features added, like email functionality was added just 3 days back. And then we are working on a bespoke report that will be live in next 1 to 2 days as well. So we are constantly churning out more valuable features on both sides of the platform. So yeah, that's pretty much it from in terms of the platform overview. Amol, feel
Yep.
free to share your screen, and yeah, we can chat next steps, take questions. I think there was a question on pricing as well.
Yep. So let's go to the pricing part. So I'll quickly share my screen again. Cool. So when you get started, there are two models right now we have. One is where you'll get a session with a property strategist, which is $12.50, and then you have self-investor, which is we're just giving the access to the user, just to the platform without the strategy sessions. Now, we have partnered with Cheryl, and if you there is a discount code, so we are getting 40% off. So the one with the session with the strategist, it will be $750. So Cheryl will give that code to all the users. And the one where you're just giving the access to the portal, it will be $500. So it's 40% off if you use Cheryl's code. So when you go on this particular one, you'll be you'll basically go on that payment link, and here you can add that particular promo code, and you can add how many. Okay, if you are getting more than 5 seats, you'll be given further discount. Okay, so there is a proper onboarding process, and a separate email will be sent out about the onboarding. It's very easy. Again, we want to simplify this process and make your life as easy as we can. So it's very simplified process, but yeah, you can just make a payment. You'll add your discount code, and you'll be able to get started straight away.
And Amol, there is no onboarding fees that
Correct.
other platforms charge for onboarding buyers agents, right? Which is few $1,000s.
It's $2,000 where there's someone in the market charges. For us, there's no onboarding fee.
Kshitij had a question, I believe, around. Yes, this is per client, Kshitij.
Yeah. So it will be $500 for every client. As I said, it's 40% off.
This is for the launch edition access, right? So the first few partners.
Yep. So if you just add GH, which is Growth Hub 40, discount code will be applied, and it comes to around 40. Now, we also, because Cheryl has been so kind, for all her first 25 buyers agents, we have a special promotion. So for first 25 buyers or agents which are on board with us and who purchase 5 packs, you will get a $1,500 travel voucher. And it's a transferable voucher where you can get to Bali and Phuket.
Yeah.
Amol, what does the fee include? Can we just clarify that, please? Say they put in the 40%, it's 540. What does that include?
Yep. So the one with $12.50 or $7.50, basically what you get is session with a property strategist, and you'll get access to that portal. Now, client portal, it will be linked directly with the buyers agents portal, so you will be able to see all the clients existing portfolio details. And as I said, if as they grow their portfolio or wherever there is a borrowable equity, you'll be able to see all that information. So they will get access to the whole portal, and they can keep on tracking their investment progress. And as and when required, we are always there to help the client.
And what's the property strategist do, and what's that session?
Yep. So it's basically, we'll break down about what your goals are and what the equity you want. So basically, whatever the information we had in the fact find, we'll simplify it, but also we'll teach them on how to use that platform, but show them on how we can grow the portfolio, what are the tips, tricks we can use. So this is the job of the property strategist, to simplify things.
So strategist essentially would help you make the right kind of decisions, help you assess what your platform is doing, explain to you in pretty much layman terms, little bit guide you on in terms of the investments that you've made, help you assess, get meaningful value out of the platform, and so that after that you can just do it on your own if you definitely see the value in it.
So when you say do it on your own, and let's say we've got buyers agents or property investment specialists who understand how to use Investar and want to do their own property strategy, because quite a few people might want to do their own. Is there a different pricing for that, or how does that look like?
There is. So yes, so Amol, if you go on the Self-Investar platform, which is, you don't need to have a property strategist, you have your own, you want to do your own thing, then this gives you access after the discount code around 540. This gives you access to the platform. Buyer's agent don't pay anything for access. They don't pay anything for onboarding. They only pay for onboarding a customer or a client on the platform. The fee is only for onboarding the client once. And after that, the buyer's agent pretty much can use on their end for free as many clients and the customers they have on the platform.
Okay. So say after the discount, the 540 is what the client pays or the buyer's agent pays? This is a once off per client?
Yes.
Okay. And then they can access it this is a lifetime access.
Yeah. In terms of the access, yes.
Okay. And what would say if a business has 40 clients, what would the buyer's agent, does the buyer's agent have a dashboard or something?
Yes. So the dashboard is what we showed. I can show it again.
Yes.
Yes, sure.
So Cheryl, if a buyer's agent is confirming a particular seat, so rather than charging per client, we can have a monthly set fee.
Yeah. Okay.
For high volume clients, definitely we can work with them in terms of that pricing structure. So this is the buyer's agent view where they essentially can go back to the list of, so they have 40 clients, so they'll have 40 clients here. They can also search for their clients and then land on their individual clients view.
Okay.
Other platforms either don't have the functionality of monitoring in a centralized way, or they charge just for onboarding. They call it onboarding fee. We have nothing of sorts. We only pay for the value that we give to the end investor, buyer's agents, clients, right? Because we are helping you to win the business. We are helping you to generate more leads. We want you to use Investar as part of your own value offering.
Yeah. Awesome. Does anyone have any other questions? Nope. If not, I think that's a good place to wrap up. Thank you, Amol. It's really helpful from what I'm seeing, and I said we work with a lot of different businesses in the property space. If you're using spreadsheets, and this provides more stability as opposed to a spreadsheet, but also presents reports and it has more sort of professional outlook on it. I do like that there's quite a lot of that ability to extract information from whether it's the value, the valuation, the desktop valuation, or identify the borrowable equity. That is probably the key part for me, which I've seen. It's been very clunky for a lot of buyers agents or property investment specialists that are doing that. It's just a really clunky process.
Yeah.
So I said I understand that this is still the beginnings of the software, so that's going to be developed to evolve and develop. So if you are keen to use it, the best thing to do is to reach out to Amol and Amar and give them your suggestions, because they've got the ability to customize it and tweak it to what really ultimately will solve a challenge that you have, but also attract more clients as well. So, thank you both for your time, and I appreciate this. This is recorded, and we'll pop this up through our mailing list as well, so other people can listen in and take advantage of that discount. It's GH40. And if you do feel you've got quite a bit of volume and you want a bit more of a customized pricing for that, reach out to Amol, and I'm sure that they can sort something out for you as well. But well done. I think it looks great. The functionalities are pretty good, and I know for ourselves we're guiding a few of our clients to use your software because they're using really clunky spreadsheets and updating things really manually at the moment as well.
Absolutely. And Cheryl, I think Amol can even talk through experience because he's taken few of his clients and the people that have used the platform. Amol, what are their views?
Absolutely. The clients love it. Instead of, it shows you how professional you are. It adds a very brand value to your own company. And instead of going through different spreadsheets, which is all manual, here you are, being an industry leader and showing more authoritative about what you're doing.
Awesome. Thank you both very much. And thank you everyone that joined in today. If you've got any questions for either of the two gentlemen, Amol, what will be the best email to get you on?
Yep, it's Amol, AMOL, at investar.io. I'll just put it in the chat as well.
Yes, please. Awesome. Thank you all. Well, I appreciate it and enjoy the rest of the day. And if you, again, any questions, email Amol. If any of you who are here as well want us to have a look at your operations in terms of operations, automations, or even your virtual team, that's how the Growth Hub can also help. We work with a lot of different property businesses, and we've been, we've had the honor of seeing Investar before it went live so that we could give Amol and Amir a few tips and suggestions on how it can help buyers agents as well. So appreciate you all being here. If you'd like to get in contact with me or my team, Cheryl at thegrowthhub.io is where we can connect. So enjoy the rest of the day, everyone, and we'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Cheryl. Cheers.